Hello, people. Today we're using a trend line and reseasonalizing data and using all of that to essentially predict what's going to happen 2 years after this data takes place. Okay, so what we're going to do is enter this data into a spreadsheet. We're going to divide the sales figures by the seasonal index to deseasonalize the data. We're going to get a trend line. We're going to use that trend line to establish an equation. And we're going to use that equation to get the next values for the graph. And then finally, we're going to re-seasonalize that. So what we're going to do is have a graph that's a prediction of the next 2 years based on deseasonalized data. So let's get started. Okay, I've entered the data into a spreadsheet just to save time. Okay, but essentially, here are the quarters. So this is quarter 1, 2, 3, 4. Then quarter 1, 2, 3, 4 again, which translates in computer terms to quarter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then the sales figure that matches those, and then the seasonal index for each one. So what I did is just put in the 4 seasonal indexes that the question gave me. Okay, those seasonal indexes came from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, matching the seasons. And then I just cut it and pasted them in twice. Okay, so my first step is to get a column that's called the seasonal data. Okay, and notice that I make the sales figures and the deseasonalized next to each other. That'll make the graph a bit easier. Okay, then I just go equals this box, the C2, because I want to take my sales figure and divide it backslash by the seasonal index. And that gives me my first deseasonalized result. Then what I do is I copy those results down. And those are my deseasonalized figures. Okay, notice that it made the big ones go down and the smaller ones go up. Okay, it evened out the trend line. Now what I do is highlight all of that, go insert the charts there. I'll just take the first one and notice how it gives me this chart. Okay, if I go down, the blue one is the sales data. Notice how it goes up and down. Okay, the orange one is the deseasonalized. It's flatter. Okay, it's not perfectly flat, it's not a straight line, but it's straighter. Okay, and it lets you see the upward trend a lot easier. Okay, then this line that just goes both up and down, and that upward trend is a bit harder to see. Okay, so now what we do, like we've done before, is we get our green plus, we go trend line. Because we've got 2 series, it'll ask us which one we want to do. And we want it for the deseasonalized one, which here is series 2. Okay. Now I've got our trend line. Then we go to more options on series 2. And what we want is display equation on chart. And that gives us the equation. Okay, and that equation is here. Hopefully you can see it on the video. Okay, 23.364x. That's how fast this line is moving up, the gradient of that line, plus 80.412. That's the starting point if it started at 0. Okay, that's why we give it these numbers that start at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the computer can start at what it believes is a natural 0. Okay. Then what we do, okay, is get rid of this. We move this down. Okay. Now we want to continue this trend for the next few months. Okay, and we've got to go pretty much 2 years into the future. Season 4, 2 years after. Okay, so we're going to need a 9, then just fill down. 14 to 16. Okay, it's going to be season 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and now what we do is we use that equation to get the next values. So we don't have any values to put into the deseasonalized because we don't have the sales. But what we can put here is a formula. This cell equals, sorry I forgot what the numbers are, equals 23.6364, 23.364 times, that's a little thing that you above the 8, the 9, because this is the 9th season, plus the 80.412. No, I don't want the sorry. no. Plus 80.412. Okay, enter. And notice how this value seems natural. They're creeping up. 290 is a little bit more. Okay, then we fill that down. Excellent. Okay, so I'll get rid of this one. Okay, now this is the deseasonalized data continuing forward. So if we graph that, which we will at the end, this will almost turn into a perfectly straight line. Okay, because it's based on a straight line equation. Okay, we then want to use the seasonal index to get this back into the seasonal variation to show how it goes up and down with the seasons. So we copy these. These are our seasonal indexes for the next 2 years, and we're assuming that these stay the same. Okay, then here what we did is we took the sales data, we divided it by the seasonal index and got the deseasonalized index. Now we're going to do the reverse. This one times this one should give us this one. So he equals that times that. Okay? And because season 1 is a big season, notice how it put the sales figures up. Copy that down. Okay? And that's the mechanics of the maths of the question. Okay? We've predicted these figures. These are our predicted value for the sales of the next 2 years based on previous data. Okay? They could be right, they could be wrong. Okay, but it's a prediction that's based on what's happened before. It's a forecast of future data. Okay, and just to redraw the table again. Okay. Insert table. So I'm just redrawing the table that I had before. Notice how it goes for 4 years instead of 2, like we had before. Okay, and notice how it goes from a wobbly orange line to a perfectly straight one for our seasonal thing. Because all we've done is predicted that this trend will continue. Okay, and then we get a seasonal wave, okay, as we go on. And notice too, as the sales go up, the effect of the seasons becomes more dramatic because we're timesing them by each other. Okay, so to recap what we've done, and it's a little bit annoying because it's all answered on the spreadsheet, but that's okay. We use the seasonal indices to calculate the sales figures for the period. Sorry, we use the seasonal indices and the sales data to calculate deseasonalized index. That was this column. This column answers that question. Then we've got plot the actual sales figures for deseasonalized figures for the point, comment on the plot. We talked a bit about how the plot changes with seasonal figures and how the deseasonalized flattens it. So discussion on that is going to be what answers that question. Fit the trend line to the deseasonalized. That was the computer getting the line. And then use the relationship in C together with the seasonal indexes to forecast sales for the first quarter of year 4. Okay, so we go back. And first quarter of year 4 would be the 17. So but we'll just use 16 because we'll go back. Okay. So first sales quarter of year 4 would be the last sales quarter of year. First sales quarter of year 4 would be 4, 8, 12, 13. So the first quarter of year 4 is 400 units. Okay, sorry about that. Year 1, year 2 finishes there. Year 3 finishes at 12, and year 4 starts at 13. So 400 matches it. Okay, and that's the answer to the questions. That was a long video, but hopefully it took you through all the skills. Have a go at the next question, and that'll just sort of take you through and see if you can do it by yourself. Hopefully that was helpful. Bye guys and girls.